So I finally finished polishing, and now I'm going to sort of prep for my first coat of Reflex. So what I wanted to do tonight was get the car wiped down and get the first coat of Reflex, so that way it could set up and cure, so I get that first solid bond, and then tomorrow I can sort of throw another coat and another coat. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 coats of Reflex, a coat of skin, and a coat of cream. So that's going to take a couple of days to sort of go through that process. So in between the different coats of things, you have to let things cure like this. I'm going to let the first coat cure all the way through the night, all the way into tomorrow evening, and then I'll put another coat on. While I'm doing that, I'll probably work on maybe the trim or the windows or the interior or something like that. So as I'm sort of putting the last step on the car, that's when I'll add these, add more and more layers of protection. So the first thing I'm going to do, I already blew the car off with not the leaf blower, the air compressor, a little crappy air compressor. So we're going to use CarPro Eraser, which is designed to take the polish residue off, get it prepped for Reflex. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this sort of panel at a time, meaning there's so many bugs out now that I'm going to do this one panel or one sort of section. Then I'm going to add the Reflex, and then I'm going to come back and do the next section and the next section, so that we have a good solid clean surface without any bugs sitting on the paint in between. So I'm going to spray a decent amount of eraser on the whole front clip here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ditch this crappy spray nozzle and put one of my new prototypes on to test. I guess it's not really a prototype. I just bought it from a place, a wholesale place. CarPro Eraser on there, and then we're going to wipe it off. I'm going to use my Adam's towel just to get the bulk. I'm going to follow with my. Actually, I probably should do it the other way, but let's just try this out. This is a Rag Company microfiber terry towel. Which I'm sort of gravitating. Why do I keep saying sort of? I am gravitating toward using for almost everything. Yeah, I think it's going to probably be better to use the Adams to do the final wipe. Let's see. This is working okay. So naturally I want to use care here, and then I don't want to scratch up the paint. I just took so much time correcting or fixing or again, I know that I don't even know that I need to use those. I think that I'm going to stick with my waffle weave all the way through. See, I don't use these for drying as much anymore because I'm using Hydrate as my drying agent, a drying aid. Now, we could put Reflex right on. Yeah, I like this better. Let's use this for the initial wipe. As I was saying, I could use Reflex on all the trim, but I like Wolf's on the plastic so much that I'm just going to stick with what I know. Stick with what I know works. And then we'll do Geon trim on the rubber that's around the bottom of the base of the window. And I want this to be perfectly dry and clean, so I have a solid prepared surface. For my last step. Especially this initial application. Okay, front end is dried and prepped. I'll leave these towels here for the bugs that are inevitably going to come. So I'm going to shake it up. I got a clean, brand new microfiber applicator pad, or whatever you want, a foam pad or a styrofoam pad, or I guess it wouldn't be styrofoam, but you know, one of those yellow kind of foamy pads. And this isn't a glass coating, it's a different chemical compound, so you don't have to worry as much about the sort of glass buildup on the edge. So I'm going to prime my pad. I'm putting some Reflex on there. And I'm going to spread it. Larry recommends putting on in straight lines. You should start at the middle, not at the edge. Now, what I found with using this is that I put it on one way and then come back over it to make sure I get good even coverage. Now, this isn't like some other coatings where you have to make sure that you're putting it on level. So we don't need to worry about suede or anything like that. This we can just sort of go, almost put it on like wax. It goes on easier than wax, comes off easier than wax. And I just put a few drops on periodically. So we don't need to worry as much about, remind me to come back and do the windshield wipers here in a minute. I'm going to say, again, we don't need to worry about leveling this with like suede or some other. Like with C-quartz, we would need to be sure that we're coming back and leveling this really quickly. And you guys probably can't see it on camera, but I can see like a, you know, it's like a smear. So I can tell what areas I've done. There's like a, you know, light sort of smear to the finish of the paint. So I can tell which areas I've done, which areas I haven't. And then I sort of keep it organized by panel. So I'm going to finish the hood, and then I'll come over and do the fender. And then now next I'll do after that I'll do the front bumper. So by the time I get done with the car, then I'll just come back and wipe it off. So we'll have enough time to sort of set up, and then I can come and take it off, take the excess off. And then I'll let it cure, and then come back tomorrow, do another coat, let that cure, come back the next day, do another coat, let that cure, and then keep layering and layering. And one of the things have never liked about coatings, actually I'm going to come and I'll treat the side or spray the side with the eraser before I come back. Anyway, I was saying one of the things I've never liked about coatings on my, fancy car is they tend to look very synthetic. They look very different. I'm going to do this on the headlights as well. But this stuff looks like wax. And then plays nicely with wax is what ultimately will be the last coating, or the last layer of protection, which we'll see, which will be a ammo cream carnauba wax. So again, you really can't screw the application of this up, unlike other coatings. This is in like a category of its own. And just like any kind of wax or sealant, I mean, you don't want to lay so much on there. You don't really need to. You just need enough to give even coverage. Because you're going to come back and wipe off the excess anyway. So the more excess you put on it, the more difficult it's going to be to get it off. And I always do my best to stay organized as I'm going through this process, so I don't miss spots. Now, it'll be okay if we do, because I'm going to come back and put multiple coats on. But if I can help it. Okay, so the front bumper's done. I'm going to set this down. I'm going to come and wipe the sides. So we've got, ammo Reflex coating all over the paint. It's kind of hard to see because it's transparent, but I'm letting it cure. It's been on here for, I don't know. The front's probably been on there for 20, 25 minutes, something like that. But I've just been kind of wiping. So I don't know if you guys can, I think you can see that sort of hazing. And then it wipes right off. So you see that little spot there next to the light. And so the general thought process here is that, again, I want to do layers and layers and layers of protection. That's why what sort of made me gravitate toward Ammo's philosophy anyway. And I've been, reluctant to use some of the products because I didn't believe that, he could create something that's better than already exists, until I learned a little bit about a sort of chemistry background and some of the, some of the research that he's been able to do over the years. And now, the key sort of coating, the key to any sort of coating for me is that I want to be able to put wax on top of it and have it stick. And so Reflex and cream, Ammo skin, Ammo cream. So the skin is the sealant. The Reflex is the Reflex is the base coating, which I'm going to do 3 coats of. Then I'm going to do a coat of skin, and then I'm going to do a coat of, I think I'm going to do Reflex on that part too later. Then I'm going to do a coat of cream, which is the wax, and then every month or so I'll put some new wax on, and I'll follow with using hydrate as a drying agent, and we should have some really good looking paint. So let's just see. I'm going to give it some more curing time. Let me go grab a snack and then I'll come back out here. Okay, I'm going to wipe the car down. I'm not going to use any other sort of agent because I fully intend to put more, like I said, put more layers on. This is tricky because it's hard to see. But I put this on my buddy Tim's Silverstone 2 M3, F80 M3, and it came off really easily, so it's my favorite. All that work just to be able to do that. So I always wipe it off in the same order that I put it on. Another little thing I was thinking, Josh was just over, who helps me with the Obsessed Garage clothing line and anything else that I need help with. He had noticed in my paperwork, I guess, in one of the videos, that I think this car was built after the recall dates. So I might be safe. I gotta do a little bit more digging. But I don't think I have any issues with the recall. It's become so significantly public about something with the potential oil leakage. To be honest with you, I've been so preoccupied doing fun stuff and working and living and going to the gym. And by the way, I took today off because I was so sore, so I needed a rest day. But I haven't been able to really dig in and figure out what I need to do about any kind of stop sale or warranty warranty fixes or anything like that. Could you imagine doing all this work and then having to take the car to the dealer and some idiot washes it and scratches it all up? Oh boy. Let's hope I don't have to go. I'll get a giant billboard and put it on the car, do not wash. And notice the windows are super dirty, but I'll come back around and do those later. So the windows will get done in between one of the coats at the end. This is the part after we're done here. You get to rub the back of your hand across the paint. You get to feel all that work that you did. The thing I don't like about these towels is they tend to, the size is great. It's 16 by 27. I really like that size, but they tend to break up. Like they don't keep a tight fold like I'd like them to. Especially when you have it inside out like I do now, using the extra side. So again, I don't classify this as a regular coating because it allows me to wax and allows the wax to stay. At least theoretically. We'll see. It's amazing how much it transforms a car when you have really good looking black trim. When the trim was all scratched up and just didn't pop as much as it could. Makes a huge difference. Oh, by the way, all you M3 guys that have been asking me about my lip, the lip's still here, so if you want it, message me. Tim decided he's doing some renovations, so he decided, you know what, man, I don't want to spend the cash right now, which is cool with me. I mean, I'm sure one of you guys will want the RKP front lip. So just message me somewhere on Instagram or Facebook, or my email is matt.mormon@gmail.com. Let's keep on rolling. I did the tail lights too. Just open this up here. You know, some of you guys have commented about doing sort of the Euro tail lights, which is that kind of weird blink. I don't like that. I just like my turn signal to be the turn signal, not to have some weird blinkies. So, I'm not doing that. I mean, it's not bad, but I just don't. I prefer, you know, taillights in me, I have always preferred simple red taillights. I don't want any tint. I don't want anything messing with them. Sort of clean, crisp, red taillights. Maybe I'm just a traditionalist. That's what I've always preferred and probably always will. Like even when the IS300 came out back in the day and everybody went crazy over the Altezza headlights, which created a whole movement of Ricer. I never got into that. I always wanted my Civic taillights to be red and normal. It just was never really my style. I gotta quit saying that too. Jeez. Not my style. That's my nice way of saying is I don't like it. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this last side down and then I'm done. Done for the night. Now it's kind of fun that I can just kind of come and do little bits and pieces here and there to finish it up, and I can start freaking driving the thing, assuming I don't have to give it back to the dealer. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh, if I give this thing back and then this warranty thing, this stop sale is for months and months, and I end up getting a different car after doing all this work. That would suck. But I got to make some videos. And then I get to do it all over again. If we're looking on the bright side. I don't want to do that. I want to go make some exhaust videos and some a video at Sebring or something, and go drive the thing. Go do a race video against my GT3 or something. Anything. You guys that do this for a living, I don't know how you do it. You know, another real positive thing for people who like to bust my chops and look to catch me slipping, this molding along the bottom makes it so that I can't hit the towel off the ground, or makes it much more difficult. Figures my darn debadging exercise on the GT350, I broke the 0 off. Removing the tape. I mean, it's still on there now, but it's kind of hanging by a thread. So now I'm going to have to get a new badge, because I attempted to take it off. So there you have it. There's coat 1 of Reflex. I'm sure I'll just keep coming back and showing you guys the rest of the process, but I finished up polishing tonight. So I got home about 5:30. I don't even know what time it is now. Probably 10:45. I didn't even eat dinner. I just kind of went and had a snack. But I'm sort of putting in extra effort so that I don't have to spend all weekend, working on this. But man, it looks so good. The paint, all this sort of work is worth it in the end. But I'm gonna put 2 more coats of Reflex. I'll sort of take you through that. Probably make that shorter. Skin, cream, windows. So windows I'll do Wolf's glass sealant on the rubber trim. I'll do Geon trim on the plastic trim. I'll do, I'm probably gonna do Geon trim on all of this, even this plastic trim here. All the trim around the base, I'm gonna do Wolf's trim coat. I find that Wolf's tends to do better on plastic, and the Geon tends to do better on rubber. I need to get the last couple of remnants of the little dots that went on the tires. I got to treat the tires, and I'll probably have to open the engine bay, just sort of do a little wipe down there and make sure there weren't any extra residue left over from the hyper dressing that we did earlier. And then I need to do the interior. The windows are going to need a really good cleaning and adhesive remover to get, some of the outlines from the window stickers off. All I need is a basic vacuum. I might grab some Alcantara cleaner, show you guys how to use that, and because I'll be sort of Alcantara cleaning the steering wheel much more than I will be the seats. I got the clutch spring to put in. I got to put my radar detector in. So those will be future projects. But I want to get the interior clean. Actually, the exterior I need to get completely done, and then I can go sort of drive the car around and start sharing some driving videos. Anyway, thanks for, I can't even believe how many, views and how sort of engaged people have been on, despite my frustration with some of the comments that I feel like are stupid and, uncalled for. The engagement has been fantastic. I can't even believe it. I mean, I could have never dreamed that we have hundreds of thousands of views of me standing here, sort of sharing how to care for a new car and do new car prep and answering some of the questions. And I've gotten behind for the first time. There's so many questions and so many comments. I can't keep up with it. And so that's such a great problem to have, I guess. But I really appreciate the response. I appreciate the constructive criticism. I don't appreciate the stupidity and ignorance. I don't appreciate that at all. But I do appreciate certainly the people that sort of have been with me since the beginning in this whole journey, and sort of giving me some validation that maybe I'm not completely crazy, that doing some of this stuff is not insane. It's sort of it's a thing that you do that you're passionate about, and it's okay to do that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more crazy, and apparently I'm going to have 10 more episodes of dialing in the GT350 before I even drive this stinking thing. So thanks for watching. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor.